Okay, so guys, this is one of my Chinese Elm Bonsai, and I brought him in today because I realised that the growth has slowed down a little bit, and it's starting to feel quite compact on the soil as well, which means that it needs a root prune and a repot. So I've had him for about 10 years now. I'll show you up close. He is one of my absolute favourites of mine bonsai. I keep him outside, which is why he's got more colour in. If you keep him outside, they tend to get more reddish colour to them. They're not normally frost hardy, although he has been out in a couple of frosts. The bigger and mature they are, the more frost resilient they become. And then I bring him in sort of through the really cold months, or sometimes even just into a sheltered covered area. So he's been doing very well. So yeah, he's probably about 22 now, I reckon. And I last repotted him probably about 4 years ago. So he is definitely due I think I'm going to put him into a different pot. I like the blue pots though, and I think the blue really suits it as well. So we're going to find a slightly bigger blue pot. So I will still post them on here, but obviously I'm not selling him. He's not for sale. Please don't ask to buy him. He is mine. Okay guys, we're back for the second part of repotting my Chinese Elm Bonsai. If you haven't seen part one, go and find that where I talk about it. Right now I'm going to take it out of its pot and give it a tease out and a root prune, and then for the last part we will then be finding a pot for it and repot it into its new home, which will be the difficult part. Okay, so I have grown moss on this bonsai. I wouldn't recommend it unless you've had bonsai before, just because it can make it more difficult to be able to tell whether the soil needs watering. So we always say just check the soil daily, make sure it's just slightly damp to the touch. It's much harder to do that with moss over it. But if you know what you're doing and you sort of can tell other ways from watering, then that's fine. If you want to grow moss on it, you literally just need to go and find a bit of moss somewhere, place it on top, water it in, and it will start to grow. Okay, so let's start. So it is a little bit root bound, so just going to work around the root ball. Oh, it's starting to come. Right, I'm going to keep some of this moss so I can replace it on the bonsai when we repotted it. But you should be able to take it off like that, particularly if it's well rooted. Okay, that's the moss off the top. Now I'm going to tease around the outside of the root ball, and then we're going to tease the bottom as well. The Chinese Elm is very hardy, so you can take quite a lot more root off than you might be able to with other varieties, and you can do this at any time of year. The Chinese Elm is evergreen, so unlike a deciduous bonsai, you can do it any time. If you have got an outdoor deciduous bonsai, then make sure you only repot in winter. Some lovely roots out now. We've got the new white ones at the bottom. That means it's really healthy, which is good. The little white ones are really good little roots. So we obviously don't want roots this long. That's just going to jam up the pot. So I'm just going to use some root shears. Chop them off. Okay, you can see we're back to a nice, much smaller root ball now, which means that when we repot it, we can put loads of fresh soil around it, and the roots have a good chance of growing into that fresh soil and getting more nutrients in quicker as well. So that's looking really good. Next, I'm going to find the pot. Okay, it's back to the next part of repotting my Chinese Elm Bonsai. So, teased out, pruned the roots. So, I'm going to give the roots here and the trunk just a little bit of a scrub quickly. Easiest way to do that is with an old toothbrush. So the next bit is choosing the pot. Now, it's come out of a similar size to this, so we'd normally pot it up size, but I did want to keep it in the blue pot because I do love the blue, but the next size up the blue is quite big. So let's have a look. So I don't know if you can see, but that is quite heavy for the tree. It's quite a deep, bulky pot, and the tree isn't really tall enough yet. So, I mean, it doesn't look bad. I wouldn't say it looks as good as I'd like it to. Let's try a couple, let's try the smaller one. So that's the sort of just a little bit bigger than the size it came out of, which we've re-pruned it, so that is fine. There will be loads of space for it to grow. I do have a different one here. Oh, that does look really nice. Oh guys, I don't know now. I wanted a blue pot. That does look really nice. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to go with the cream. That just fits so nicely. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go for that one. Let me know in the comments which one you would have chosen, though. So, with prepping the pot, you're going to need some mesh. This has just got 2 holes in the bottom for drainage, so let's cover those so the soil doesn't just fall straight out. Okay, so the pot is prepped. The wire in, the mesh. Now I'm just going to put a layer along the bottom of new soil. I'm going to use the mix, the peat-free compost and Akadama mix, which we do sell in our shop. That is just a really good soil for the bonsai. The Akadama is perfect for drainage, and then the soil is good to hold the nutrients. So I'm going to use that. I might top dress it with Akadama though. If you've got an oval pot, you tend to put the bonsai more in the middle. Whereas if you've got a rectangular pot, you can sort of more place it to the side, lean over a little bit, whatever you think looks right. Okay, so that is looking pretty good. Let's get it wired in. So that's it in position. And now I'm just going to work in the soil around the root ball. So just tease gently around the root ball to start with. You want to get rid of any sort of air holes in within. Make sure you really get into the roots as well. Once you've finished teasing in the soil, you just want to make sure the bonsai, just check it is in the right place. Quite often when you're teasing around it, you can move it slightly and then you finish and you realise that your tree is slightly wonky, but he's looking good. So I'm just going to ensure the wire is tightened. This just stops whilst the roots are getting growing into its new pot. This keeps it in place, especially because I'm keeping it outside and obviously we've got strong winds. Cut the excess wire off. I'm just going to top dress it with some Akadama. Right, so the last thing that we're going to do now is put the moss back on. It's going to take a little while for it to sort of settle in. Obviously the roots have got to go into the soil, and then it will look more natural as well. Okay, so of course, the last step, water your bonsai in. It is so important to make sure you give the bonsai a good soak after repotting it. There's loads of fresh soil in there, so for the roots to grow in, you need it to be quite wet. So you want to make sure that when you water it, that you see soil coming through the drainage pots at the bottom. Finished, repotted, and very excited to take them home.